Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, or Imperial. The forward look from Chrysler Corporation.
We are at our garage where we will be looking at the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. Yes, that's correct. This big monster people hauler is now classified as an economy vehicle. So we'll take an interesting closer look. If you watch my videos, you know I'm one of the few YouTubers who actually test the headlights in the dark. The past couple of videos I skipped that procedure, got some hate mail telling me do the headlight test, so we're going to go to that right off the bat. I'd say it's dark enough, so we'll take these headlights out and see what happens. Here we have the lights on a building 100 feet away, low beam. Not very high, but adequate light. Go to high beam, wow, very nice. By the way, I did clean the headlights before we came out here. They were dirty from some rainstorms this morning. So the glass is clear, not dirty. Here we have the high beams on the building 300 feet away, as expected. Lights up real nice. Go to low beam, didn't quite reach. But these are more than adequate for city driving. I like this 360-degree camera system, by the way. About 7 months ago, we did test the non-hybrid Pacifica, which is a lot less expensive than this one. We'll have a link for that complete test at the end of this hybrid video. This is a plug-in hybrid, so let us show you how it works. Step number one, you open the charging door cover. Step two, you plug in the cord. And you plug this into a wall socket, and in 15 hours you have a full charge, good for an alleged 30 to 35 miles of totally electric driving. If you can locate a 240 volt outlet, you can charge the whole system in approximately 2.5 to 3 hours, so they say. If you want to charge this vehicle with a 240 volt system at your home, you'll need a special unit that costs extra money. Or you can go to the local mall and you might be able to find a business that has a hookup for you. Then you can steal their electricity for free. I put the Pacifica in this shopping mall charger around 20 minutes ago, and I gained a whopping 3 miles of range. All for free. Lucky me. There's an indicator on the dash showing the percentage of electric energy left and the range, which in this case is 20 miles. Once the main battery runs out of juice, the entire vehicle switches over to the hybrid system, combination electric and gas. In that mode alone, I've been driving and found out that the fuel economy runs around 28 to 32 mpg, depending on driving conditions. So here are the economics of it. Let's say you drive to work 30 miles totally on electric, and you drive back on the hybrid for a total of 60 miles, used 1 gallon of fuel, 60 miles to the gallon. Unless your employer has a charger at work, then you can drive back and forth totally on electric and not use any gas at all. But for long trips, say driving between Los Angeles and New York, the total electric-only system isn't going to do you much good because it's going to expire after around 30 miles. So your fuel economy on that long trip will be running around 28 to 32 mpg. The main question is, how much is all of this technology costing you when you go buy the vehicle? It's hard to say because manufacturers don't offer this as a standalone option. Usually they do it as a package deal. I can tell you that the base Pacifica van runs around $32,000 plus options. On this hybrid plug-in, you're looking at the $43,000 unit and the $49,000 deluxe unit. In all fairness, you're getting a lot of luxury options standard with that deal. As a general rule, the cheaper hybrid systems at around $4 grand to the price of a vehicle. The plug-ins like this around $6 to $7 grand. That's a general estimate, not engraved in stone, okay? On a typical hybrid, you'll usually have to run around 70,000 to 80,000 miles for the system to pay for itself. Again, that's a general figure, not engraved in stone either. There are a few drawbacks to this plug-in hybrid. Number one, the famous stow-and-go seats where all the seats disappear in the floor and you can haul all kinds of plywood. That's not going to happen on this. The space underneath the floor, that's where the batteries are kept. 650 pounds worth of hardware, by the way. Also, there is no spare tire, just a cheesy tire repair kit. Don't get a flat. If you're taking a long highway trip, I seriously recommend you get a spare tire and jack and toss in the storage area back here. Just saying. Another disadvantage, if you're charging this in your garage, all locked up, you'll be okay, but if you're charging on an outdoor plug, nothing to keep someone from running off with this. You would think there'd be a way to lock it in, but I looked at the owner's manual and I can't find anything. There is one major complaint I have with this Pacifica, and it has nothing to do with being a hybrid. It has to do with being a Pacifica. So I want to get this out of the way right up front before we do any driving. I mean, this is a van, which is a people hauler, right? You got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, I see. So you're going to have packages, gear, personal effects, correct? And here's where we run into the problem. This is my personal bag. It's not that big. So I was looking for a place to put it. Hey, how about the console here, right? My first thought was to put the bag in this giant console, but you lift the lid, and this is all you get. Exactly what you see on the top. I don't think that's going to work. Not going to fit in this glove box unless I take the owner's manual out, and even then it's a tight squeeze. So that brings me back to this console. Why is this so big and have no room? Well, for one thing, it hides cup holders, which is kind of silly. Why can't the cup holders just be out here without all this sliding in? But the more important issue comes up when we get down to the floor. As we work our way down, we see underneath it's strictly hollow. All this space could be used for a large container, and there's nothing there. Amazing. I mean, here's the bottom line, folks. We have enough space here to put 6 watermelons, a nice big container, and we get nothing at all. Yeah, you can lay your stuff down on these trays, but if you're locking the car up and leaving, that's an invitation to the thieves. Not a good idea. In all fairness, there is one storage container underneath the dash. I had a big problem getting this to fit in. I had to take some things out. But still, come on, guys. And that's just for the driver in front. For the passengers in back, lots of luck. Actually, the compartment that houses the air pump has about 3 times more room for storage. You might want to put your stuff back there. Now that I'm done complaining about these storage facilities in the cabin, it's time to do some driving. The first thing we're going to do is do some speed bump tests to see if all this extra weight has smoothed the ride quality out. We'll start off around 25 miles per hour and hit up to 35. Here comes this first one. Sounded bad, but didn't really feel it. Adequate. Adequate. Here comes the nasty one. Not much difference. What a surprise. Because of the extra weight, the 0 to 60 time of the Pacifica hybrid is going to be slightly slower than the standard Pacifica, obviously. But in everyday traffic, you're not going to notice. In fact, with the massive torque of the electric motor, the hybrid Pacifica actually feels more lively at low speeds. If you've ever driven a diesel-powered vehicle where the maximum torque comes in at a very low RPM, you'll understand what I'm referring to. So let's hit it. Very smooth, no hesitation. Starts moving along pretty quick. These brakes work fine, but have a very strange, well, I won't say mushy feel. Let's just say they take some getting used to. I did an overnight charge on this battery last night, so when I got in the vehicle this morning, the computer tells me I have a full 35 miles range on this battery. That's the good news. The bad news, it's 108 degrees outside, so I've got the air conditioning running full blast and these air conditioned seats. That uses up a lot of electricity, so it looks like from the computer we're going to have a limited range of around 25 miles instead of 35. If you live in Alaska where it's cold, it shouldn't be an issue, but if you live in the desert, your air conditioning will use up the electricity. That's just the way it is. In case you're wondering what this construction is, this is your BS tax dollars at work. City says they're broke, can't afford new libraries, can't pay the police, but they had $980 million, over $1 billion by the time they're done, to build a worthless light rail system. Can't imagine how many kickbacks are going to the mayor on this one. That's my political statement for the day. For the past couple of days, I've been running around 30% totally electric and the other 70% hybrid. I'm getting pretty close to 40 miles to the gallon. If you have time for a recharge, you can match that or do better. Here's my take on the Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid. It's not for everybody. If you're a person who puts on lots of miles, hauls lots of people, and does it in style, it might be for you. Yes, the cost of admission is rather high, but keep in mind Chrysler usually gives big discounts, so you might be able to get one a little bit cheaper than the prices I quoted. Here's a link for the non-hybrid Pacifica we tested around 9 months ago. And I stand corrected on the price. I believe this one started at $28,000 instead of $32,000, but both are cheaper than the $43,000 of the hybrid I tested. Just click on the link if you want to watch.